Good evening, and welcome to the special St. Patrick's Day edition of Shh Productions Vintage Radio Hour, sponsored and hosted by our friends at Dutch Creek Winery. Our COVID inspired project now encompasses over 160 fantastic performers and technicians, ages 10 to 83, from 25 states, Canada, the UK, and now Japan, and seeks to transport our wonderful audiences back to the golden days of radio. Our gifted storytellers will ignite your imaginations by bringing you an entertaining show filled with jigs, giggles, and maybe a little Irish mischief.
The upcoming show, My Friend Irma, St. Patrick's Day show, originally airing in 1953, features the impressive vocal talents of Maddy Shilts from Illinois, Allie Lytle from Virginia, Cryan, Mark Mann, Tom Holliday, Chip Barr, and Phil Wells, all from Ohio, Leah Mosterd and Rick Clark from Michigan, and Kimberly Cushing from Washington. Right around the corner from me, Glenn Siegel here in Oregon. So put down your shillelagh, make a quick trip to the Jacks, grab a Guinness, a Jameson, or a fizzy drink and a bag of crisps, and sit back and shh.
When Irish eyes are smiling.
Irma, do you hear that?
Just like a morning spring.
What?
In the
Listen.
hills of Irish
Oh, two cats are fighting?
No, that's Mrs. O'Reilly singing.
It is.
Of course. She's getting ready for the St. Patrick's Day celebration today.
She is? Oh, then this will be my chance to watch the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Sure.
Last year, the parade was awfully short. Only one policeman.
Only one policeman?
Yeah, there was hardly anyone on 8th Avenue.
8th Avenue. Irma, the parade was on 5th Avenue.
It was? No wonder that cop stared at me so strangely every time I applauded him.
Come on, Irma. Let's go downstairs and pay Mrs. O'Reilly the compliments of the day.
Okay. Gee, I didn't buy her a present.
Irma, it's not that kind of a holiday.
Come in.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Me too.
Oh, bless you, girls.
Oh, what's the matter, Mrs. O'Reilly? You seem depressed.
I've been sabotaged.
What do you mean?
Well, you know me girls' club, the Ancient Sisters of Hibernia. The Sisters of Ancient Hibernia.
Yes.
Well, every St. Patrick's Day, we girls have a parade around the block. And this year, it was to be my turn to lead the parade. You see, it's usually the youngest and most attractive that's picked for the job.
Yes, of course.
Well, that darn Mrs. Hogan from the next building says she should lead the parade.
Oh, isn't she the one that hates you?
Yes, you know what she told the girls, that my legs aren't pretty enough to lead the parade. Look who's talking. Why, she's so darn bow-legged she could stand still and our whole club could march right through her. And she never gives her right age.
Now, don't let it upset you, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Oh, you don't know what this means to me. I've been practicing for this parade all week, marching up and down in my apartment, making left turns, right turns. Twice I forgot to watch and walked under the shower with all my clothes on.
Maybe we can talk to Mrs. Hogan out of leading the parade.
How?
I'll tell her after you all march around the block, you all march into Moriarty's bar, and the first one in buys the beer.
It wouldn't do any good. She'd march right in and out the back door. No, I can see my dreams aren't coming true. Come in.
Mrs. O'Reilly,
Yes.
I'm Cassidy from the Men's Auxiliary.
Oh, yes.
The question of who will lead the ladies for the St. Patrick's Day parade has split your club in half. Some want you, and some want Mrs. Hogan.
Glory be.
So your club has asked Mrs. Pat Kelly of Kelly's Pool Room to arbitrate the matter.
Oh, I see.
Now, Mrs. Kelly wants you to get the signatures of all your Irish friends in the neighborhood. Mrs. Hogan will do likewise, and whoever gets the most votes will lead the parade. Goodbye.
Oh, glory be, girls, did you hear that?
Well, I think it sounds very encouraging.
Oh, but that Mrs. Hogan knows so many people.
She does.
She makes up a big kettle of soup every week for the mission, and everyone who drinks it has to come to her house to get the antidote. And she's such a flirt.
She is?
Yes, every time she passes that cop on the beach, she gives his horse some sugar. Between me and her, that poor animal's going to drop dead of diabetes.
Mrs. O'Reilly, are you a quitter?
What do you mean?
This is a challenge, and I think you should accept it the same way as David and Goliath.
David and Goliath?
Yes! Didn't you see the movie?
No, but don't worry, I'll catch the remake. Mrs. O'Reilly, if this means so much to you, I think Irma and I would like to help. We could take petitions around the neighborhood.
Oh, would ya?
I know a lot of a lot of Irish people.
You do?
Yes, there's Mr. Schultz.
Irma, Irish.
Oh, well, there's Mr. Lanzetta.
Irma.
Jane, we ate at his restaurant last night.
So what?
What did you have?
Irish stew?
That's one vote. And then there's Mr. Svensson.
Svensson?
You know, the one with the dog.
Now really, Irma.
And what kind of dog is it?
Irish setter.
That's 2 votes for Mrs. O'Reilly.
No, Irma dearie, they have to be people, real Irish people. Come in.
Yeah, if you don't mind, it's me, the maestro. Hello, girls. Hello, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Oh, Maestro, are you Irish?
Oh, I don't see how that could be. But after that mattress I slept on last night, I think a piece of the Blarney Stone is stuck in my back.
Oh, he's so cute. He's just like his cousin, the professor. By the way, have you heard from him?
Yes. He wants I should write and tell him how I like my room.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't put that in a letter. Irma, darling, why did you want to know if I was Irish?
Well, Mrs. O'Reilly needs votes. She's going to lead the ladies in the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yes. I'm going to march down the avenue singing, "When Irish eyes are smiling."
Well, if there are any snakes still left, this should chase them out too. Yeah.
Oh, I know you're kidding, Maestro. Did you play the recording of my voice I sent to your phonograph?
Yes,
Well?
it bent the needle.
Oh, no, you know that can't be. That needle is sapphire.
That's right. Sapphire, and it sounded like Amos and Andy were both choking her.
That's not very gallant, Maestro. Your cousin, Professor Kropotkin, was crazy about me. Isn't that right, Jane?
Huh?
Irma, darling, tell the Maestro, wasn't the professor crazy about me?
Oh, yes. I think he planned to become a motorman, save his money, retire, and then propose.
Why do you think that?
Well, the professor always said the only way he could marry Mrs. O'Reilly was if he was off his trolley.
Irma!
Well, I must get back to my room. My cousin said that there is a window in my room, and I want to find it before it gets dark. Goodbye, girls.
He's cute. In no time at all, he'll be putty in me hands.
Well, Irma, let's not waste any time. You take this blank paper, and I'll take this one, and let's go. O'Reilly. How about you, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, I can't do it right now. The parade starts at 3 o'clock, and I have to make myself a green cape to wear. Oh, I wonder where I can get the material.
If he's Irish, he's mine. Come in.
Hiya, chicken.
He's not Irish, but you can have him.
What's all the Irish chatter?
Oh, Al, this is such an exciting day. Jane and I are going to get signatures so Mrs. O'Reilly can lead the ladies in the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Say, that's swell. Was there anything I can do to help?
You wouldn't know where I could pick up some green cloth, would you?
Green cloth. Let me think. Mrs. O'Reilly, if you want green cloth, I'll get it for you. By the way, how would you like to buy a good luck shamrock?
Oh, sure, and I'd love it.
Here you are. Been doing great business today.
Wait a minute. This doesn't look like a shamrock.
Al, what is that thing?
It's my own patent. I take a daisy, pull off all the petals except 4, and spray paint it.
It may not be lucky, but it will make you kissable.
I'll get it.
Pardon me, is Irma or Jane? Oh, there you are, Irma.
Eloise, you know Al.
Yes, hello, Al.
And you know Mrs. O'Reilly?
No, pleased to meet you. Are you Irish?
Why, of course.
Well, would you please sign your name here so the St. Patrick's Day can be... So the St. Patrick's Day parade can be led by my landlady, Mrs. Hogan?
What?
Eloise, this happens to be the Mrs. O'Reilly that Mrs. Hogan is competing with.
Yes, Eloise, you're my best friend. How could you do this?
Well, I didn't know. And besides, Mrs. Hogan has been a wonderful landlady to me.
She has?
Yes. You know how much I weigh. And when I sit on one end of the sofa, she sits on the other end with my boyfriend so he won't go up in the air.
Well, you don't need her. Get him a pilot's license.
Well, it's not only that. She gave me a lovely oversized bed.
Well, that was nice. The way your feet used to hang out the window was terrible.
Gee, Mrs. O'Reilly, now that I've met you and seen how nice you are...
And besides, I'm younger than Mrs. Hogan.
Then you weren't born during Napoleon's retreat like she's telling everybody?
Oh, where's Miss Shillelagh?
Now take it easy. Eloise, what's your decision?
Well, I can't be mean to Mrs. Hogan, and I don't want to hurt you, Mrs. O'Reilly. So I just won't get signatures for anybody.
I appreciate this, Eloise. You see, Mrs. O'Reilly has had her heart set on this for so long. By the way, how does it look like it's going?
Well, Mrs. Kelly from the pool room says it looks like Mrs. Hogan might win.
Then there's no time to lose. Irma, you take this side of the street. I'll take the other.
And I'll get the green cloth for you, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Oh, bless you one and all. You're wonderful.
And don't worry, Mrs. O'Reilly. I'll get the signatures of every Irish man and woman who was born under the sod of Erin go broke.
This evening's broadcast of Shhh Productions Vintage Radio Hour is brought to you in part by Dutch Creek Winery, located in the beautiful countryside of Athens, Ohio. Visit their farm, winery, and tasting room located in the hills of southeastern Ohio and make time to enjoy their amazing artisanal small batch ciders, fruit and berry wines, and honey-based meads, as well as non-alcoholic honey sodas. Dutch Creek Winery has something for everyone at family-friendly prices. Spend some time with friends and family while enjoying local beers and dining on a fresh, out-of-the-oven pizza or an expertly prepared charcuterie board. New on the menu are pretzels with house-made beer cheese and our two latest sweet mead offerings, Booty Blue and Peg Leg Cherry. Dutch Creek, the best Athens, Ohio has to offer. Visit them at 12157 State Route 690, just 10 minutes from uptown Athens, Ohio, or on the web at DutchCreekWinery.com. See their Facebook or Instagram posts for more information about current events and offerings. Can't make it to them? Ask for their ciders and wines at your favorite retailer. They can also ship right to your door. And now, back to our feature presentation.
Well, Irma and I have been out getting signatures for Mrs. O'Reilly so she can lead her ladies' club in the neighborhood St. Patrick's Day parade. Now, let's see. I have 17 votes. Mrs. O'Reilly was personally supposed to get 32 signatures, but she only got 20. She lost 12 when she promised to kiss everyone who would vote for her. And, Irma, Cookie, how did you do?
I got 15 votes, 2 proposals, and a wonderful recipe for mulligan stew.
Lots of luck. Now, let's see. It's 1 o'clock. Mrs. O'Reilly, when is the deadline?
The parade starts at 3 and the votes will be counted at 2.
By the way, Mrs. O'Reilly, how many Irish folk would you say there are in the neighborhood?
Oh, now let's see. The Hallorans have 12 children.
12?
Oh, yes, he wanted a large family, but unfortunately he travels a great deal. Then there's the O'Toole family.
How many children do they have?
Well, I don't know exactly, but by the time the youngest child gets the Sunday comics, it's Monday.
Well, roughly, how many Irish people would you say there are in our neighborhood?
Roughly 400. And if they came any rougher, I think I'd move.
Well, it looks like we have about 175 signatures, and that's not enough. Come on, Irma.
All right, Jane. Oh, maybe that's Mrs. Hogan giving up. Hello? Who? Yes, this is Miss Peterson. Oh, it's you, Mr. Clyde. What do you want? But Mr. Clyde, you gave me the day off. What? Of course my head is screwed on tight. The last time you told me to have it checked, I did. What, Mr. Clyde? Right away? But... Yes, Mr. Clyde. Jane, I have to go to the office. Mr. Clyde's furious.
Why?
I don't know. Last week he was angry at me when I typed his income tax form.
What did you do?
I put his wife's name in the wrong place. He said he wanted to deduct her for dependency, not for depreciation.
Well, you get to the office. I'll carry on alone. Don't worry. We'll put Mrs. O'Reilly over the top.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Jane, would you mind running over to 8204 74th Street, apartment 6A?
I thought you were there.
I was.
Well, are the people Irish?
I don't know. Those wooden shoes that they wear make such a noise I couldn't hear a word they said.
Is that you, Miss Peterson?
Yes, it is, Mr. Clyde, but I can't give you more than 10 minutes.
If you were running the gauntlet, that would be all I'd need, or less.
Why? What did I do?
Yesterday, I dictated a letter to Judge Hawkins that I would meet him at the flower show, where his wife was going to display her prize-winning poppies. I did not say that he should get a prize because his wife was having puppies.
But it's only one letter wrong.
Oh, that's very important. Take you, for instance. One little letter keeps your head from being good and makes it wood. I've never seen such horrible spelling. I'll bet you don't even know the alphabet.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Let me hear it.
A, B, C,
Yes.
D, E, F, G.
Yes.
All the rest of 28 except February.
Oh, cut that out.
Well, you make me feel like a child. Of course I know the alphabet. It's just that you dictate too fast.
Too fast. When you got this job, you told me you could take 100 words a minute.
That's right. But after a minute, I'm through for the day.
Oh, sit down and get your notebook.
Please, Mr. Clyde, I can't. It's St. Patrick's Day, and I'm helping Mrs. O'Reilly get elected so she can lead the parade.
Oh, I'm sorry. When would you like to come in?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow is too soon.
Oh, you think so?
Yes, let's make it Monday.
Good.
Monday, August the 14th, 2079.
2079? Why, we both may be dead by then.
Yes, it should be a lovely day. Goodbye.
Now, Mrs. O'Reilly, this is how it shapes up. With a half hour to go, you have 204 votes, and Mrs. Hogan has 204 votes.
Glory be.
And guess what?
What?
I understand Mrs. Kelly of Kelly's Pool Room is casting the deciding vote in your favor.
I knew we'd win.
Congratulations, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Oh, thank you, my darlings. My life's dream has come true. And wait till I show you the cape I'm going to wear in the parade. Here, how do you like this?
Oh, it's beautiful, Mrs. O'Reilly.
What a soft green cloth. It's felt, isn't it?
I believe so. Al got it for me.
Where'd you get the cloth, Al?
Oh, forget it. It's nothing.
When he says it's nothing, I get worried.
Well, I certainly would like to pay you for it.
Please, you are dealing with a philanthropist.
Come in.
Is Mrs. O'Reilly here?
Oh, yes, Mr. Cassidy. What can I do for you?
I'm sorry, but I've got a bit of bad news for you.
Bad news?
Yes, as you know, Pat Kelly of the pool room was going to cast the deciding vote for you,
Yes.
but she's changed her mind.
Why?
Because someone came into her pool room and cut the green cloth off her best billiard table.
Don't move, philanthropist!
Mrs. Hogan saw the cloth being brought up here. I don't think there's anything more to be said. Goodbye.
Oh, good heavens.
Al, you've done a lot of low things, but this one takes the prize. Why did you steal that cloth?
Well, I didn't steal it. I was making a trick shot and I forgot to chalk my cue.
That took off the whole cover.
I use a lot of English. Now, look, Mrs. O'Reilly,
Please, Janie, take me down to my room.
Of course, Mrs. O'Reilly. Now don't take it too badly.
You don't know the trouble I've gone to. Well, I've spent so much money at the beauty parlor. Why, if I raised the rents for 6 months, I still wouldn't be even.
oh, now don't you start bawling, chicken. I was just trying to be a nice guy.
But poor Mrs. O'Reilly.
We still have hope.
What do you mean?
Kelly's vote only counts if there's a tie, such as there is now. But if in the next half hour we should find an extra vote for Mrs. O'Reilly, Kelly's vote wouldn't count, and Mrs. O'Reilly would be the winner.
But Al, every Irish person in the neighborhood has already voted.
Not everyone.
Well, gentlemen and ladies of the auxiliary, as you know, it is now 1 minute to 2. In the contest between Mrs. Hogan and Mrs. O'Reilly, to see who would march at the head of the parade, the voting is exactly even, 204 to 204. So I would like to cast me deciding vote for.
One moment, Mrs. Kelly.
Oh, yes, Moriarty, what is it?
We have just received one more last-minute signature, and it's for Mrs. O'Reilly.
Now, let me see that.
Here it is.
Irma O'Peterson. Well, I thought I knew every Irish name in the world, but I never heard of O'Peterson. I'm going to this address and check up before we make a decision.
Oh, Al, they're coming over here. What should I do?
Just stick to your story. By the time they trace your ancestry, the parade will be over.
But how can I make them think I'm Irish?
It's easy, chicken. Just use a lot of Irish expressions like faith and begorra.
Faith and begorra.
Aye, it's a lovely day. And top of the
Achoo!
Gesundheit. Morning to you.
I see.
Then say you were born in County Cork on a peat bog and you are a real daughter of Erin.
County Cork, a real daughter of Erin.
And for good luck, you like to kiss the Blarney Stone. And your father was head of the police department.
Oh, there's so much to remember. Let's see. Faith and Begorra, County Cork, real daughter of Erin, police head, Blarney Stone.
Chicken, if you ever concentrated, do it now. Mrs. O'Reilly's fate depends on you.
Oh, Al, are you leaving?
Down the fire escape. They're coming up the front. Good luck, chicken.
Oh, if I could be singing some Irish songs when they come in. How does that one go? Ireland must be a new haven because your mother came from there. Come in.
Miss O'Peterson.
Faith and House Dora.
What?
It's a lovely day and top of the gesundheit to you.
What What part of Ireland did you come from?
Blarney County.
Blarney County.
Yes, my father and I were real corkheads, and every morning for good luck I would kiss Pete Bog, a lovely fellow.
Now hold it a minute. You're not Irish.
I'm not! They'll have you know you're talking to a daughter of old Iran.
Iran. Iran is in Asia.
Well, you know how we Irish get around.
Oh, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, for I have to trace your whole family.
Hello,
Well, if it isn't Jane McStacy, my Irish roommate.
Mick Stacy?
Just a moment, miss. Is this blonde young lady Irish?
Yes, she's about as Irish as a smorgasbord.
Oh, Jane, now you...
Look, Irma, whatever you're doing, there's no need to do it. I've got news for you.
News?
Yes. Mrs. O'Reilly and Mrs. Hogan are marching arm in arm at the head of the parade together.
Glory be. I've been trying to get them to do that for 3 months. How'd it come about?
Oh, now they're the best of friends. They both found out each other's true age and agreed to keep it a secret.
Irma and Jane will be back in one moment. A quick word from our wonderful sponsors, Dutch Creek Winery, nestled in the heart of southern Ohio. Keep your eyes out for their new offering, kegs. Yes, Dutch Creek will be selling their cider in kegs for you to enjoy under the label Barron's Reserve Hard Cider. Bring a taste of Dutch Creek to your party and treat yourself and your guests to Barron's Reserve. Visit Dutch Creek Winery at 12157 State Route 690, just 10 minutes from uptown Athens, Ohio, or on the web at DutchCreekWinery.com. See their Facebook or Instagram posts for more information about current events and offerings. And now, back to our show.
Well, the St. Patrick's Day parade is over, and it was really lovely. Irma, how did you like it?
Like what?
The parade.
Oh, I imagine it's gonna be fun.
Imagine. The parade was on 7th Avenue at 3 o'clock.
Oh, I thought it was on 3rd Avenue at 7 o'clock. Oh, well, I guess I better put this pen and I bought away until next St. Patrick's Day.
Irma, Mossadegh is not the president of... Oh, why should I correct her? Pretty soon I'll be believing it myself if I go on living with my friend Irma.
Thank you to our outstanding performers, our sponsor, Dutch Creek Winery, our terrific production master, Nick Martin, and to you, our audience, for joining us for our first St. Patrick's Day show. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to our next adventure, which will be our 5-year anniversary show coming up this June. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the upcoming shows. Until then, have a rejuvenating spring, take care of each other, and shh.